It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And Murray, who puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of us. Hey, Merman.
Yo.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Ooh, thanks to all who've been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership. buymeacoffee.com/filmrage YYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. And we probably will. Watch it. Now, let's get to raging. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or a superhero movie planned?
Ugh, I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event or go online at canyonmeadowscinema.ca.
Ooh.
No dancing this week again.
No, we just doing some cinema. Cinema?
We say screw you to the streaming.
Screw you streaming.
I like streaming.
I like streaming too. But you know what I like better than streaming? I like going to the cinema. Eating popcorn.
Going to the lobby.
I like popcorn.
Getting ourselves a snack.
Yeah. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat.
All right, so we saw, what did we see?
Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah, so Fantastic Beets.
Beets. Dumbledore.
I don't like beets.
Really? I just had some beets the other day, and they were delicious.
Gross.
Tasty.
They
Were they roasted?
Delicious. No, they weren't. I actually just chopped them up and threw them on some. I don't even remember
Stuff.
what it was, but you put beets on it.
Yeah, it's like bam.
Better.
It's like bam.
They were fantastic beets.
I love good beets.
So, what we saw was actually called Fantastic Beasts,
Not beets.
The Secrets of Dumbledore. It was visually stunning. It was well acted, and the special effects were as good as a festival of CGI could be. Mads Mikkelsen as Gellert Grindelwald and Jude Law as Albus Dumbledore are always good in everything they do. I really can't talk today.
No, you cannot.
Eddie Redmayne seems to be at home as the awkward Newt Scamander. Ezra Miller as Credence and Dan Folger as Jacob are also good in their roles, but the spectacle of the special effects and the good performances cannot completely make up for a story that never really seemed to find its pace. In the moment, I kind of enjoyed the film on that level. You know, it was light. It was pretty to look at. But honestly, it's now a few days later and I really don't remember what I watched. I know there were wizards and magic and a weird zombie deer-like creature that chooses leaders. But I don't really remember the story. Or was that it?
I think that was it.
That was it.
Anyway.
Pretty sure Kylo Ren showed up at some point too.
I really don't have strong feelings one way or the other about this one, so
And you know what
I suppose it makes it a man.
That kind of does equal math for you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel there are two types of people. Wizarding people and non-wizarding people. Or muggles or wizards. I happen to fall in the wizarding camp. The fantasy world that J.K. Rowling has created is a fantasy-driven story that progressed from a child and his friends to a more complex, layered adult-themed story for older kids. These stories are not overly complex, and just like some people get their joy from action films, like maybe Murray, or Bryce from his films about walking. That's right. I enjoy a good fantasy film, but I do really like great fantasy films. This one is not one of those. Don't get me wrong, there are lots of things I liked about this, but also things I didn't like the characters. They have developed over the 3 movies. But this one, they also introduced new characters, which left the original cast of characters kind of watered down, and most of the cast was actually absent for most of the movie. I love Eddie Redmayne. I like the quirky character he has created. But again, this story, we do see mostly him. But again, a watered down version of him. The story idea is not completely original and does have a Harry Potter-like spin to it, but it seems almost forced at times. I'm happy that they put a gay character in it, but it seems so much in passing, almost like J.K. Rowling is trying to suck up to the community for her stupid comments about trans people. And the development of both Dumbledore and Grindelwald were rushed and pretty much absent to build any real nemesis between them, especially if they were lovers. It seems, for the most part, that they rushed everything. Of that, the ending was long and sort of a whole Lord of the Rings way too long, and too many endings, almost like a Lord of the Rings ending, but it was more like almost like a Lord of the Rings ending, but it wasn't quite a Lord of the Rings ending because there wasn't as many endings as the Lord of the Rings ending, but that's kind of what it felt like.
Oh, you lost me.
Remember Lord of the Rings had 72 endings? This one had less than 72, but it seemed like there was at least 40.
I got like a vague recollection of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Well, just remember the endings was too many, and so was this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. CGI for the most part was done pretty well. The acting was strong, but overall, this film is worse than the first one and better than the second one.
Yes.
I love the Wizarding World, but not this film. I really enjoyed Newt back, and especially his crab dance walk. But this film overall was a little meh for too many characters, some silly plot ideas, alakazam and poof. I hope this is the last one you make. Bam! Low meh.
It's not even close to the last one they're gonna make.
Oh, please tell me it's the last one.
They can't decide.
They've already got like 5 planned.
Yeah, well,
Ugh, please.
This one sucked so bad.
If they, yeah, like
not to.
the second one was terrible.
Because the end of this movie, they basically resolved things more or less.
Yeah. Okay. So what's with this creature that they hang the whole existence of our universe on?
Yeah, that was stupid.
That was so dumb. Sorry, Murray. Go ahead.
Oh, it was stupid.
We can talk about how dumb that is in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
So, what was the point of it all? No, really. That's what I was asking myself throughout this whole movie.
That's Wizards.
Having never seen a single Harry Potter or Fantastic Beasts film, this movie really had no meaning for me. Lots of interesting magic tricks. Are magicians so lazy they can't even carry a cup of tea? Like
Nope.
they have to levitate everything?
Yes.
That was stupid.
Tila Levioso.
I found Eddie Redmayne's character actually very annoying.
Really?
And it's a good thing I skipped the other films. The creepy voice he talked with, the whole thing annoyed me. Well, the only character I liked was the Kylo Ren wannabe.
I don't even know who you're talking.
Loved the duel with Jude Law.
Oh.
The rest of it, I was bored with.
What's a Kylo Ren?
I think that's his Mads Mikkelsen, maybe?
A Star Wars reference.
I know that. But
The
is
guy
that
with the long black hair.
Oh, that dude. Yeah, him.
Kylo Ren. That's all. That's who
Kylo
he was.
Ren lookalike guy.
Basically, he was a guy who turned evil because he had issues with his family.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren.
Issues.
Keep up.
Yeah, the guy that was, what's his name, son? Well, family.
Was it son? Was it brother? I
Yeah,
don't
it was
know
his
what the hell.
family
Anyway,
member.
It was family.
It was family.
Anyway, he was evil, sort of.
He was evil, but he was good at the end.
Yeah, like
That
Kylo
dude.
Ren.
Kind of looked a bit like him.
So, yeah, I was bored with this film. So, a few fun facts for you regarding the Fantastic Beasts curse,
Uh-oh.
which is a real thing.
I didn't know there was a real thing.
First of all, Mads Mikkelsen replaced Johnny Depp,
Yes.
who was accused of spousal abuse.
Yes.
And is still in the middle of a volatile court case.
He is.
And was asked to step down. Then there's Ezra Miller,
Yes.
a.k.a. The Flash / Barry Allen from the
Yes.
DC universe. In 2020, choked a woman in a bar in Iceland, threw her on the ground. Captured on video, too. Then he, just this year, threatened a KKK Klan member on video, North Carolina, which can't blame him, I guess. Then arrested in Hawaii for harassing people in a karaoke bar, like grabbing the microphone and just being obnoxious. Has at least 10 different police incidents involving videotaping people at a gas station, and has a restraining order by a couple who claimed Miller was trying to steal their things. Yet Miller still has a Flash movie coming out. Then there's the Queen Bee herself, J.K. Rowling. Her anti-LGBTQ comments have basically made her a pariah. And garnered respect by Vladimir Putin. Putin likes her.
Wow.
Of course, this has nothing to do with the actual film.
No.
Other than Matt,
What's it have to do with the Bryce and
really
Jim?
couldn't find anything to like about this movie.
Okay.
And definitely wasn't his best work. So it's an abracadabra rage.
Right.
All right.
So, sorry, what was
it is the last
Sorry, what was the curse again? I'm kind of
There's-
The
confused.
there's
curse
no
is
curse.
the Fantastic Beasts, not the Harry Potter movies,
Right.
but the Fantastic Beasts.
Right.
Since they started making them, they've had
Bad
nothing
things
but,
happen.
Nothing but trouble.
And yet people are still going to see them.
You're still going through the movie, but yeah, all the off-screen stuff is basically bringing it down.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so yeah, I gave it a rage.
All right. Well, I don't. If you've never seen it, Bryce, you got to watch the other two before watching it, right? So you,
I watched it right before.
yeah, so you kind of had a little bit of a.
I'd seen them both before. I forgot about them both.
They're kind of forgettable,
I
actually.
thought about it, I couldn't even find them.
In contrast to the Harry Potter.
Probably on Disney or
No,
something.
for Harry Potter is also completely forgettable.
Yes, there you go.
I have no idea. I think he had like some sort of weird thing on his head.
Hit a scar.
And
Stuff happens to him and his friends.
he had
Hermione
6 or
and Ron.
7 friends. And
Tons of friends.
They try.
Everybody loves Harry
I don't
Potter.
remember what it was about at all. I believe. No, I don't know.
I guess no.
It's what a
Yeah.
boy
Was
wizard. that's all
Dustin
I know.
Hoffman in the movies?
Sure.
so.
Okay.
Who did
Gary
he,
Oldman was in the
who
movies.
did Dustin Hoffman play in the Harry Potter movies?
He played Dustin Hoffman.
Really?
No, he's not in.
He's in it.
Okay, so
Ray Fiennes
I
is in
remember I remember Dustin Hoffman being in the Harry Potter.
But
then
more,
you watched the wrong movie.
more importantly, he's not. But more importantly, wasn't that creature that's supposed to point out, like that whole plot summary
Yeah,
thing
the
was
goat
dumb.
thing with
I
the
like
fire
goat-
belly.
the
I
goat-
liked all the
goat
creatures.
fu-
I
Well,
liked the little-
I like the creatures. I get it,
thought it was
but
like
the
a
whole
deer.
plot is
Looked
this
like a little baby deer.
deer
I thought it was
goat.
gonna be a
It was like a
dragon,
deer
but it
goat
was a
dragon.
deer goat, yeah.
A deer goated dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dumb. That part was really
whole thing
dumb.
was dumb.
The whole world was waiting on what the deer goat
gonna
thing has to
decide.
say. And everybody's like, yeah, okay, the deer goat's right. Let's all believe that. I'm like, these are all supposedly intelligent wizards and witches. And they're just like, oh, yeah, let's believe everything about the goat.
Yeah, you
And
don't-
then how
you
easy
don't
was
know
it
the
for
back-
Mads Mikkelsen's
you
character to
don't
pull
know
the wool,
You don't know the
intentional
backstory.
wool over their eyes?
There could have been thousands of years of deer goat making super good decisions and never
Well,
being wrong.
they never
Why
brought.
would they doubt him now?
They didn't even know they existed because they had to go find it. It's like all the decisions
Oh, they
made
knew
from
it
before.
existed. They found it
but
so that they could do that.
yeah, but all the decisions made prior to that were made in a regular vote.
I don't even know what I'm defending. Let's
Yes,
just
you
move on
I
to the
don't
next
know what you're
movie.
saying either.
It was dumb. That's all I want to say.
Well, from
And-
go-
It was
from
mad.
And it made the movie was low mat.
It made no sense.
And it was like a gradual progression. You gave it a
it
mat.
got
I gave it
worse.
a low mat, and then Murray
No,
gave
it got worse as the movie went on.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about a movie called.
I also like the crab walk.
Isn't it great?
It was good.
I like Eddie Redmayne.
I do too.
He's adorable.
I do
And
most
he's-
of the time.
He's
Just-
very good in this character.
He
If
is.
anybody's ever been at home in a character,
Yeah, it's like him.
He just
It's
annoyed
him.
me.
I think that's. I don't think he was acting.
no, he's just.
It's just Eddie Redmayne
He's
when he's at home.
adorable.
It's when he's at home. Okay, so now we went and saw a movie called Cow.
Yes, you do.
Moo. Now, they say this is a documentary, but
is.
Andrea Arnold's latest film, this is more of a horror story, full of jump scares, torture, and depravity. This film is not for the faint of heart, as we journey through a year in a stately older cow in their final year of life. This is no dialogue except from farmers and vets that interact with her. And we get to see her daughter, number 481, which is her last 3 digits in her name, as I fondly like to call her. Cute little 481. There are small moments of joy and cuteness, along with moments to reflect and meditate in such times as looking at the stars or grazing in fields. There are so many little tiny funny moments, like seeing fireworks go off in the mating session of our cow's romantic engagement with the chosen bull to impregnate her. There is nothing hidden in this film, as you definitely get everything, and I mean everything, that happens in the last year of this majestic animal. Through the quietness of this film's style, you see this cow has a mind, a heart, and maternal instincts. You also see that she is depressed and sad, that the life she leads, especially when she cries and moos when they take her babies from her moments after she's given birth and take them away to live a separate life from her, as she goes back to her grind, which becomes her repetitive life. The repetition of this film is what I think helps to connect us more deeply to this cow. It's sad and dreadful, and for a few moments, very beautiful. You know the fate of our friend cow well before the film's end, but it still doesn't fully prepare you for the scene that will certainly traumatize anyone who views it. This film will stay with me for the rest of my life after seeing this film. Cow to some people may be delicious, but Cow the movie is sad and beautiful, and it is motherfucking mondo.
Okay, so Cow. Cow should be required viewing for everyone. Everyone should know where their food comes from. It is an objective view of the life of a dairy cow. We watch the day-to-day of cow 1129. The film opens with her giving birth, and then moments later, with remnants of the birth still hanging from her vagina, they connect hoses to her udder, the suction is turned on, and it is back to work, giving, or rather having, her milk taken from her. We then see a heartbreaking scene as Mum desperately wants to nurse her calf, but is shoved aside as some dude bottle feeds it. The calf is then taken away from Mum as Mum wails in heartbreaking anguish. The calf is then isolated as it starts its training to be a dairy cow. From there on, it's heartbreaking scene after heartbreaking scene. We witness the day-to-day of cow 1129. Her life is basically have milk taken from her constantly. As soon as she is able to get her pregnant, milk, 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 give birth, have her baby taken away from her again, milk, 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 and so on. And then we come to the conclusion of the doc where cow 1129 is no longer productive, and you probably know what happens at this point. If you can watch this and continue to enjoy your dairy products, then so be it. I cannot. This doc did not show me anything I did not already know, but I've never seen the subject presented in this way, showing the life of one cow. It was extremely effective and extremely upsetting. I would hope that you give this film a thought the next time you add cream to your coffee. Cow was a real bummer, but it was also mondo.
Yeah, bummer is probably a good word for this film. And interestingly enough, this is a large operation, but there is, in contrast to that, there is dairy farms that don't treat the animals the same. Like organic,
half of my family run them.
Like organic, independent farms that do it. Not defending it because Bryce is a vegan, and I think the value of this film, to your point, is something everybody should see. This, I can't believe, like, I felt bad. There was in the theater, there was probably a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old girl.
I think they should be shown in elementary school.
Well, yeah, I don't know. That scene is pretty traumatic, even for anyone.
Yeah.
But that's not how they all go. But I mean, I don't know. Some of it I think was to get us to think a certain way, which in this particular case, I'm perfectly fine with.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make comment that Andrea Arnold's, I think, is meant to be a documentary filmmaker. I really did not like American Honey. In contrast, I think that she was trying to prepare herself.
I loved American Honey.
I think she was trying to prepare herself to make a documentary, but she didn't make a documentary. But after making that, I'm glad she made this. That's all I can say. Yeah, American Honey, for those people who don't know, it's one of the only movies I walked out of because I thought it was so terrible.
Yeah, in all the years I've known Jim, it's the only movie I ever remember him actually walking out of.
That's the one that I liked, right?
Shia
That's the
LaBeouf.
one that,
The Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, that was great.
It's completely terrible.
But the gypsies in America selling stuff.
Yeah, it was awful.
Fantastic.
It was terrible. But Andrea Arnold, you can make documentaries all day long. I'll be there to watch them.
There you go.
All right. We got 2 Mondos, Murray. What are you doing? Get off the pot. Mondo. Is it 420? Murray, maybe he's on the pot. It is 420.
All right, moving on to Father Stu, starring Marky Mark.
And the Funky Bunch.
When injury ends his amateur boxing career, Stuart Long moves to LA to find money and fame as an actor. While he's scraping by as a supermarket clerk, he basically meets a Latina woman who goes to church, and he tries to win her over. So basically, then he has a motorcycle accident, leaves him wondering what he can do. So he decides he wants to be a priest. And pretty much the whole movie was filled with F-bombs and obscene language. So made me doubt he was actually going to do it. But now, Mark Wahlberg is a mystery, wrapped in an enigma, surrounded by a paradox.
Basically, he's an onion.
Boogie Nights, the big hit, Planet of the Apes, Rockstar, The Departed, The Happening, The Fighter, Pain and Gain, Ted, Transformers, Uncharted. Seems for every good movie he makes 2 bad ones. So I didn't know what to expect from this film. Judging by the trailer, not much. You know what? I actually liked it. I knew nothing about the actual person, so the gut punch halfway through the film actually surprised me. Up until that point, I thought the guy was a joke and he was making fun of religion. I had some hearty laughs and was pleasantly surprised to learn that Mel Gibson can still deliver a good performance once in a while when he wants to.
Ooh, really?
Jackie Weaver was amazing, at times both nurturing and aggravating. The story actually moved me, yet did not make me want to run to a Catholic church. Been there, done that, moved on. I wavered whether this was a Met or a Mondo. In the end, I was so touched by the film, I had to give it a Praise Jeebus Mondo.
Okay. Praise Jeebus.
Praise Jeebus.
Bryce, tell us about Father Stu.
Jackie Weaver as Kathleen Long was tremendous, as she always is.
Bam.
Everything else in this film is terrible. Every scene with Jackie Weaver in it was Mondo. Every scene without Jackie Weaver was a rage. That probably works out to 15 minutes of Mondo and 109 minutes of rage. Wahlberg was terrible and excruciating to watch. The story seems to preach to the choir without trying to connect to anyone else. It is a heavy-handed, poorly acted mess, with the exception of the amazing Jackie Weaver. I hated this movie, and I understand why no studio wanted anything to do with it, as Mark Wahlberg had to put up his own cash to star in this crap. This was a rage.
Okay. It came through. Rage won out over Jackie Weaver. Now, I don't like sports movies, and I don't like trying to be converted while I watch said movies. And this had both of these things simultaneously. This film is very slow to get to its points, but sprinkled through its slowness, we get epic dialogue, and performances by Jackie Weaver, who was absolutely incredible
Yes.
as Wahlberg's, quote, Stu's mom. Personally, I thought Mark did an okay job of stepping outside his normal one-note persona he portrays. Well, at least as his character developed. So did he to meet the demand. Mel Gibson, the racist, does his normal thing and does a pretty good job at it. This film is filled with typical redemption God save me crap, but just like more slowly and draggy at times. We were blessed with Marky back to going shirtless in his underwear, which has been his trademark for so long that when he doesn't deliver, I kind of feel a little let down. All in all, the movie did not convert me or make me love any character except Stu's mom. I really don't hate it though, which is surprising. So I guess it's a little bit of a low meh because it wasn't great. But if you're Catholic, you may like this one because, you know, all the Catholic stuff in it and the fact the priesty stuff that is normally made into movies is different than usual. Maybe because it's too hard to find many good priest movies. I don't know. So maybe not money well spent, Mr. Wahlberg. As you shelled out the dough for this little Catholic conversion story, Hail Satan and Jeebus. It was a low man.
FYI, Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson are both
super
heavy
Catholics.
super Catholics.
Oh yeah, they're super Catholics.
And Wahlberg also has a chain of burger joints, so I'm pretty sure he's not hurting for money.
Are they like got like?
I don't know what that has to do with it.
Yeah, they
I'm
got
just saying,
Catholic.
He didn't do it to make money. He did.
Oh no,
No,
he
he
paid.
did.
He did it because he wanted to do the movie.
Well, he did it because
Yeah.
he wants to convert people to
He
Catholicism.
really wanted to make the movie because nobody else would make
Yeah.
it, and he put up his own money.
Yeah, he wanted to convert everyone to Catholicism.
Judging by the almost full audience of the theater we were sitting in, obviously some people.
I think a lot of
liked it.
Catholics.
Yeah, a lot
went
of
to this
Catholics
movie.
showed up to the movie. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Well, that's the thing that bothered me the
A
most
lot of
about this is
Catholics
the
show up to
preachiness
Kirk
with it.
Cameron movies too. So
And you know who else did they show up to? Ambulance.
yes,
They go to Michael Bay movies. There's a lot of people that go see a lot of stuff.
And they eat cow.
And they eat cow sometimes. They
Yeah,
do.
well, nobody should.
There you have it. The fight of cow still goes on. All right. What else did we see? The final frontier.
We saw RRR.
Arr.
Or Rise, Roar, Revolt. It's an Indian film that takes action to a level that I didn't know could exist. It has everything in it. Do you want action? Then strap in and keep your eyes glued to the screen. Do you want comedy? This is the movie for you. Do you want romance? Yeah, it's here as well. Do you want a dance competition that is so intense that people are collapsing from exhaustion? You got it.
Bingo.
Do you want a scene where a man fights a tiger with his bare hands? Or a scene where a man throws a motorcycle? Or a scene where a single man takes on hundreds of men and wins? Or a scene where nothing that is happening could possibly happen and you don't care because it's just so much fun? Then watch this movie. Set in the 1920s, an Indian tribal girl is abducted by a British governor. Big mistake because Beam is sent out to find and return her. Along this journey, he meets Ram, and an epic friendship is formed. But there is a secret that may destroy the bond. This is the launching point for one of the most entertaining 3 hours you'll ever experience. Where the movie excels is the fact that it never takes itself seriously, and yet the film itself is very serious. I am serious too when I tell you that this Indian action extravaganza
Back to no voice today.
was Mondo.
Okay. Well, okay, listeners. First off, close your eyes. Are they closed? Hey, you in the red shirt.
We're on the radio.
Your eyes are open, I can tell. Okay, so now everybody's eyes are closed. Now imagine you're in the jungle of India during British occupation.
Yep.
Imagine how tranquil and beautiful this world is
Oh, that's so nice.
before the evil Brits come to steal your baby.
You bastards.
Now imagine a movie that does all the annoying things that American films do, but does it Bollywood style in such an over-the-top, action-packed, motherfucking ass-kicking, dick-punching Bollywood spectacle that you never, ever want it to end. Now open your eyes, get in your car while you listen to our podcast and drive as fast as humanly possible to the nearest cinema to see to fulfill a lifelong dream of seeing Bollywood dance-offs, horse rider fights, brotherly love, action so big to music so pounding you feel your heart and genitals will never stop throbbing. Now, also, picture piggyback fights to the death.
Yes.
And blood-soaked revenge and motorcycle tossing beyond your wildest dreams. Now imagine having the most fun you have ever had in a movie that was 3 hours that you wished it would never end. That, my friends, is only the tip of the proverbial iceberg of how great this movie is. In North America, we are so used to seeing the evil Russians or the evil Germans from World War II, or perhaps you might get to see the evil North Koreans, but you have not seen evil till you've seen the eyes or through the eyes of our Indian brothers of how evil the British are and how much you want to beat the living snot out of every single Brit that existed in the planet as they invaded India. This film had me laughing and cheering and dancing and singing from moment one to the very last second of the amazing closing credits. And when they were over, I kept waiting for something more to happen. And Bryce had to drag me screaming from the building. This film was so, not Mondo. It was Bollywood-gasm action film, super Mondo-gasm. And to steal a line from our friend George, I am now just counting time until I can get to see R again. The time between is excruciating. This was a spectacle I want to relive again.
I'm with you, brother.
What'd you think, Murray? You left early.
I left really early. I didn't make it through.
You didn't make it to the good
More
parts.
on that later.
All right.
Mondo!
Are you not even going to give it a review for the first part of it? You didn't see it enough?
I saw 1/6 of the movie.
Oh. Did you like the first scene where the dude went ape shit and attacked everybody?
Like I said, more on that later.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I have a feeling I know what it was that drove him from the building. We had a little kid who was
That was part of it.
being babysat by her parents.
More on that later.
It was all over. All right.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Sweet, sweet rage. Obviously still Putin. But in addition to him, my rage this week is very deep-seated in religion. And don't try and hide a conversion film into something just because you throw your money at it and make a film for us to have to watch because it happened to be one of the only 4 films that we're playing this weekend. Please don't try and present this as anything more than a conversion film, which I am not ever going to convert to Catholicism. That's my rage this week. Mark Wahlberg, go back to doing what you do best, taking your shirt off,
Fighting robots.
putting on your tight underwear, and being your regular self, which is mostly just yourself. That's my rage.
All right.
That's fair. I don't have like a wicked rage this week.
Not wicked at all?
Nah.
I mean, you're the only one that gave out a rage this week.
I'm just disappointed that
He's not.
more people
right.
aren't watching documentaries that I think might change their opinions about things. I'm vegan. I don't talk about it much. I'm not preachy about it.
No, you're not.
I don't sit there and, belittle people when they're chowing down on their hamburgers and whatnot. I'm thinking it, but I'm not saying it.
No.
I just wish that people would watch a trilogy of documentaries. I'm going to suggest it right now. If you watch it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. There are 3 documentaries that I think everybody should watch. One is called What the Health. If you're concerned about health,
it's a good
you
film.
should watch it. One is called Cowspiracy.
Yes, very good movie.
If saving the planet is your thing, you should watch it.
That's the movie for you.
And Cow. If animal rights is your thing, that's the movie you should watch. And I would implore everybody to watch all 3 because you'll know where your food comes from. You'll know what impact it has on this world. And that's it. I just hope that if one person watches these 3 movies and makes a difference at all, that's cool. As I say, I don't sit here and preach. I'll leave it at that. That's my mild rage this week.
It's not really a rage per se.
Well, that more
I
people,
would say,
that these movies haven't reached more people. That is my rage.
Yeah, you know what? I guess to jump on your bandwagon a little bit, I think most of us live in a world of ignorance when it comes to how we get food to our tables.
Yep.
Right? And as Murray grew up on farms.
I grew up around farms. I know exactly where the food's coming from.
Yeah, yeah.
And I still eat it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it again, Bryce isn't judging the fact that you eat it, just like hopefully you don't, but apparently you do sometimes judge that he's a vegan.
No, I just don't like going to vegan restaurants because there's nothing for me to eat.
Well, there's French fries. You eat French fries, don't you?
Yeah, as I've been told many times, potatoes aren't a vegetable.
They're not, but they're still food, which you can eat.
Anyway, no, I respect the vegan thing. It just it'll never be for me.
Yeah.
I like my meat.
There you go. I think
it's one of the few things that, as a diabetic I can actually eat.
Actually, there's lots of
because I can't eat carbs.
Yeah,
I can eat protein.
Actually, we won't go too much into discussion around this, but there's actually another documentary that Murray should see.
Yeah, no, I
which is actually about this. I forget what the name of it is, but it's one where this guy goes vegan and then he stops becoming diabetic because he became a vegan.
Yeah, no, I've been told that many times.
so ultimately,
we're gonna have
as I say, I wish. In my heart of hearts, I wish Murray would watch these 3 documentaries, but he's not going to watch any of them.
Nope.
But okay, so here's the thing. I think where maybe I say North America because that's where we live, but I think our society needs to see more documentaries that are important. Like even we saw with Navalny last week.
Yes.
We're now getting some of these super powerful documentaries to open our eyes to what's happening around us. And I just think, seeing a 3rd Fantastic Beast, and if you're telling me there's going to be 4 more, or seeing a pet project to convert us to Catholicism, we get these type of movies, but we don't get the main. Like, when was the last big documentary that you've heard say everybody saw this documentary and they talked about it?
I can't even name one. It was probably like
Super Size Me or Super Size Me. Super Size Me.
What was that, 20-some odd years ago?
Inconvenient Truth was pretty big.
Yeah, exactly.
20-some odd years ago too.
You're right, Marie. That's another one. And and then on the one that Leonardo DiCaprio did not that long ago about global change, right? I forget what the movie was, but that's what I mean is that we need more of these in mainstream cinemas that people can go. I mean, yeah, maybe people are trying to escape their lives. That's why they go to movies and see Ambulance.
That's exactly why.
But sometimes seeing a movie can open your mind to a better life.
Sometimes it's good to open your
I don't
eyes.
like people preaching at me.
Well,
it's not preaching, Murray. It's just
wait a minute, and yet he gave a mondo to a Catholicism film.
I didn't see it that way.
Preach.
I saw it as a story of a man's life.
Okay.
Which touched me.
It's true, you didn't get
nothing
converted.
to do with the Catholic religion. Nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Nothing to do with it.
It was a boxer.
It had to do with the man himself.
Right.
Anyway.
Who was a boxer.
Yeah, it was a boxer.
It was a boxer movie.
The hard and fast life, and he paid the consequences in the end.
He did.
So, no, I loved it. Anyway.
Perfect.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Do you like cute dogs? Of course you do.
We have a cute dog, and we'll share pictures of her if you listen to our podcast.
We are 2 idiots and a dog, and we talk about movies and other media.
And post pictures of our dog, Kaiju.
New episodes post weekly on podpage.com/TIAAD media.
You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook at TIAAD Media and wherever fine podcasts are sold.
So give us a listen. You wouldn't want to disappoint Kaiju.
Their dog is adorable.
Is it?
It is.
All right.
Dogs are delicious too. Some parts of the world.
Yeah, the Koreans kind of eat a lot of dog.
So I couldn't make it through R. Therefore, I
R.
can't really review it. Yet, it still made me rage. Starting with the in-theater experience that Jim alluded to. Maybe the guys didn't notice, but there was a bratty 4-year-old running and jumping up
Everyone
and
noticed.
down the steps and getting cootie germs all over the unoccupied seats at the front. I complained twice to the manager. Of course, nothing was done about it.
Of course not.
Why the hell do parents bring children to the movies? I don't mean the Disney Pixar G-rated stuff.
Yeah.
You're gonna get misbehaving kids in that.
This
one.
movie
Those
was
ones.
not for
That's
4-year-old
why
girls
I stay away
or
from them.
boys.
This
I
was
can tell
9 o'clock on a Monday night.
9:45.
Yeah, hire a damn babysitter.
Yeah.
That makes me rage a lot.
And so you should.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
with
got
you.
fed up and left. Next.
Did they give you your money back?
No, I just left. I complained on the way out again. I said the bratty kid's still doing it, but obviously not gonna do anything about it.
Well, and
I left.
unfortunately for Murray, which was kind of, I could see this brewing from above because we were at the top,
Yeah, I was near the front.
and their parents were in front of
I was
us.
trying to figure out why you kept on leaving the cinema.
Yeah,
but
I left
now
twice
it's
to
clear.
complain.
Yeah, it's like, boy,
I
his
left-
bladder
I
must
left-
be full.
I left twice to complain.
Yeah, and
Third time I left
but here's
for
the
good.
thing: is that the kid would escape our area of the film and go hang out at Murray's area.
No, it wasn't
So-
my area. It was the first like 3 rows.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But you were down there.
Yeah.
And like
And
that's
it
all you're
wasn't
looking
just-
at.
It wasn't just crawling. It was like bounding 2 steps at a time. Thump, thump, thump. Yeah. Anyway, that was only the first problem.
Uh-oh.
Next, the running time.
3 hours?
3 hours is too long for any movie.
Not
when
this
not
one.
when it's
Too
this
long.
awesome.
Too long for the Avengers. Too long
Yes.
for this.
No.
No movie should have to be 3 hours long.
I wanted it
Unless
to be
it's 3
5.
hours
If you
of
have
awesome.
that much story to tell, break it up into 2 movies, like Twilight, Hunger Games, or the last 2 Harry Potters. People have to pee, and 3 hours is too long
I
for
did.
anybody to hold it. So if you had to go in the middle of the movie, you missed the movie. That's my point.
Just gotta run.
I didn't have to go at all.
Finally, the movie itself. I worked in broadcast television for 20 years.
Yes.
The last half of which I watched multicultural programming
Yes.
and a different Bollywood movie every weekend.
Oh, sounds like joy.
For 10 years, that's 500 films.
Nice.
And I maybe enjoyed 3 of them.
Aw, Mur.
This folks was a Bollywood movie. Like, there's no escaping it.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
left
no.
when they started singing. I'm like, okay, it's a Bollywood movie. I thought it was just an action movie, but no, it's a Bollywood movie. 3 ridiculous action sequences in the first half hour.
Yes.
Yes.
First, a single soldier
Yep.
takes on
Yes.
about 1,000 protesters.
It's probably more like
awesome.
3,000.
outside of
It's more
prison
like 3,000.
by himself.
Loved
Yes.
it.
Fights through all of them and still comes back with the bad guy.
Yes.
He was determined.
Second, a team of hunters try to trap a wolf but get a tiger instead.
Yes.
No.
And the guy goes one-on-one with this massive
Yes.
beast.
Yes,
A
and so the-
freaking tiger.
The tiger,
Yes.
the guy who fights the tiger has to eventually fight the guy who fought 3,000 people.
It's fantastic.
It's ridiculous. Lastly, the 2 heroes from the previous scenes get together on a bridge to save some kid
Yes.
who's trapped on the ocean surrounded
Yes.
by fire.
It was so good.
It
in
was
the
so good.
water.
Actually, it wasn't the ocean. I think that's
It's
just the
a
Ganges.
big river.
I think it's
It
just
was
the
in
Ganges.
the water.
River.
That's the point. He was in the water,
Yep.
surrounded by fire.
Yes.
In the water.
Yes. Gasoline covered water.
It was fantastic.
There was plenty of rope swinging, a
Yes.
flag waving,
So much
and
flag
a
waving.
bro handshake at the end of it.
It was.
so good.
And then the opening credits finally rolled about
Yes.
30 minutes into the film.
I know.
But it was the singing that made me tap out.
What? You love
Sorry,
singing.
Just couldn't take it
You
anymore.
love
Like I
musicals.
said, 500 Bollywood films.
Yeah.
I'm forced to
Sounds
watch
like-
at work. So
that sounds
yeah,
like That sounds like pure joy.
No, it really
Did you
wasn't.
like Phantom of the Opera?
He did like
That's
Phantom.
different. That's a musical. This is
okay.
Bollywood is crap.
It is not.
It is
No,
so.
it is not.
Yes, it is. Why don't we go to Bollywood movies more often then? There's at least 2 every week at Sunridge.
We should see more.
We don't go to any of them.
But
let's do it.
But the reason that we don't is because we know you don't like
No,
Bollywood
you can go without
movies.
me, but you choose not to.
Okay.
Anyway, I just couldn't take it anymore. If you enjoy that kind of movie, more power to you.
We did.
Not for me.
Loved it.
Done.
That doesn't sound like a joyful Merman
No,
Minute.
it wasn't, because I was pissed off at this movie.
Yeah, but were you more pissed off at the movie or more pissed off at the parents that didn't?
No, the kid was
Control their
annoying.
kid.
But the movie, I sat through half an hour, and then I realized what kind of movie it was, and I got fed up. I'm like, I'm not sitting through 3 hours of this.
Oh.
And it was our second movie of the day.
It was
So-
the second movie of the day.
And I would have got me home at like 12:30 at night. I'm like, no.
Yep. I got home just after 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't worth it.
So, no, it was before. It was before that. We got
Maybe.
home about
I don't know.
12.
Anyway.
I couldn't
yeah.
sleep
Dropped
anyway.
me. I know. I was so
But
pumped
I was
up
so
by the
pumped
movie.
up.
These two
That's
loved
right.
it, so if you like that kind of thing, go see it.
I think anybody who loves
I don't know the last
crazy
movie.
action
I don't know about
films.
the last movie where I've watched it and like, how many times did I go, yes?
I just love seeing the British as a villain. It
Yeah,
was just they were so evil.
They were.
That's why they're called the Empire.
That's right. Or the colonizers.
Yes.
I'm also part British, so.
So am I.
Who isn't?
I'm actually, I think, almost
course,
100%
The British can't hold a candle to my real ancestors.
That's right.
That would be the Vikings.
That's right. The Vikings took them down many times.
Yes, they did.
Until they stopped taking them down.
Yes, until they gave up.
Until they got colonized by the Brits.
Exactly. Anyway, but yeah, enjoy it if you want it.
That was a really good minute.
It was an aggravating one.
Ugh. I feel your pain though. Okay, so first thing we got to do. This is from the Walken Off that the Murr so graciously reintroduced us to True Romance.
Yeah.
But before, as we had discussed last week, why is Dennis Hopper not on our mesmerized list?
Because he's not always mesmerizing.
He's always mesmerizing.
Sometimes he's just annoying.
Okay, when have you seen him where he's annoying?
I don't know.
You can't find a movie he's annoying.
Read off his movies. I'll tell you which ones he was annoying.
Well, we need to ask Marie first. Are you a Dennis Hopper fan, Mur?
Sort of.
Yeah, of course you are, because he's mesmerizing.
Okay, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, right off the bat.
He was
just-
mesmerizing.
No, he was not.
He was.
No, he
That's
wasn't.
when I hated the first one. Yeah.
The first one was
I
fantastic. First one was one of the best
Greatest horror movies ever
made.
created. Yeah, it's true. He's been in a lot of movies. He's like Walken in that way.
Yeah,
But he always
has.
steals every scene.
No,
He does.
no, he doesn't.
Well, you're going to make this more difficult if we don't add Dennis Hopper onto the... Because you know why he's doing this? I'm just saying, Bryce is not the teller of truths that he likes to pretend he is.
I am totally the teller of
Because
truths.
Dennis Hopper is mesmerizing. There's nobody more mesmerizing than Dennis Hopper in
Okay,
Blue...
I don't. Number one, had
Velvet,
I
you mean?
said he
Yes.
is, I still wouldn't be picking Dennis Hopper as the most mesmerizing. In the scene,
literally last
in the
week.
best scene in the movie.
Literally last week.
No, I said it's between those two, and I didn't say that he was more mesmerizing than Walken in that scene. I just said these two were. It was amazing, and if it was based on that performance, Dennis Hopper could be mesmerizing. The problem is he can't be because he was in that scene with Mr. Christopher Walken.
He would have taken him down.
No.
Yeah, that's the only reason, because ultimately Bryce wants Christopher Walken
No.
to stay
It
on
has
all the
nothing
time.
to do- No. that's-
He just thinks Christopher Walken is the most
I'll tell you.
mesmerizing.
I tell you one thing. I'm still baffled by your Crispin Glover
Crispin Glover
thing
was
last week.
way more
No,
mesmerizing.
you just want him on the list.
Christopher
him on the list
Christopher
forever.
Walken
So
was
don't
not
even-
mesmerizing in that movie.
Don't even give me that crap. You
I'm giving it to you.
You could have had Crispin Glover against the most mesmerizing performance. You could have had him against
If it was against Dennis
Jackie,
Hopper,
You could have had him against Jackie Weaver, and you would have come with a way to keep Crispin Glover on the stupid list.
I think Crispin Glover, not Glover, Glover was way more mesmerizing than Christopher Walken in that film.
Yeah, whatever.
He was
Anyways,
boring in that film.
I've already said who I think, and you're gonna say.
I'm saying
you're gonna say Gary Oldman.
I
already
am
know
going to
you
say
are.
Gary Oldman.
So
you
it's
didn't
just
even
so
know.
stupid.
You didn't even know
Yeah,
it was
I
Gary
did.
Oldman. You didn't know it was Gary Oldman.
I forgot that Gary Oldman was in it.
And
But
then when you saw it-
I'll tell you one thing, because that scene was at the beginning, I was like, holy crap, Christopher Walken is in trouble, because Gary Oldman was mesmerizing in that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got to
We don't get to see them
Then we got to
together.
the Christopher Walken scene.
Yeah,
and that
see-
is one of the great scenes in cinematic
I
history.
100% agree with you.
And Christopher
But Dennis
Wa-
Hopper was more mesmerizing.
Okay, forget about that. Who cares if let's say you think Dennis Hopper's more mesmerizing.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, because
Yes.
he's not in this competition.
It's true.
So you're saying
should be.
You're saying that Oldman was more mesmerizing. Oldman just had an over-the-top, flamboyant character. Now, was
Yes.
the character more mesmerizing, or was it his actual performance? Well, Christopher Walken didn't need an over-the-top character. Christopher Walken wasn't over the top
He
for a
is an
change of
over-the-top
pace.
actor.
That's what I just said. For a change of pace in this role, he wasn't. He played it low key, and you know what? He was absolutely mesmerizing.
He was. It's too bad Dennis Hopper wasn't on the list,
for
though.
crying in a bucket. Whatever. Anyways, you say that, I say that. Everybody's still on.
Well, Murray hasn't seen it.
No, I didn't see it, so I
Well,
understand.
it doesn't matter.
If
'cause we
Murray
disagree.
eventually sees it, then it still doesn't matter.
No,
No.
It's
because we
true.
disagreed.
But I kind
However,
of feel what you're saying.
I do agree Dennis Hopper's mesmerizing, but Bryce vetoed that.
I'm
so.
kind of thinking about what you're saying, though.
About the character instead of the performance.
Yeah. I have to watch it again. I don't want to watch this movie again.
I love this movie.
I hate this movie.
I don't know
This
why-
movie is literally...
It's a very polarizing movie.
It's one of the worst movies I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
It,
actually,
if
it's actually pretty
if you
good.
want to,
It's-
if you
it's
really
very
want to torture me
entertaining.
again,
very
put this in
entertaining.
your fucking rage bag.
No, we're-
because this movie is
Okay,
torture.
By the way, that's not something we're gonna do. We're not gonna make once we've watched a movie, whether it's for Rage or Dare or for this, we're not putting it in again. That's insane.
Okay, I'm not going to watch the whole movie.
Because otherwise,
I'm going to rewatch all the scenes with Gary Oldman.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna put my whole bag is gonna be Phantom of the Opera, and you can sit there and watch that every time you choose for my bag.
Well, mine's going to just be Top Gun.
Well, there you go. And we'll both be in hell forever.
And Murray will be in joy.
Exactly.
Okay, so you know what? I'm putting my vote on hold this week. Then I'm gonna rewatch just the scenes of Christopher Walken,
Yeah, just watch those scenes. It's like 10 minutes.
Gary
total.
Oldman,
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna decide.
because I agree that character is great. And don't get me wrong, Gary Oldman's a freaking chameleon, and he is fantastic.
He's
in it.
mesmerizing.
Like
He is.
it is killing me that he might be off. So I'm actually kind of glad you chose Gary Oldman. I just think you may have chosen for the wrong reasons.
I'll have to rewatch it.
And Christopher Walken, sometimes you forget how he can be understated and he can
Yeah,
still
yeah.
convey so much.
It's true.
But anyways,
I you know what? The problem I have is that Dennis Hopper was more mesmerizing in that scene. So I can't. That's the thing that's getting me. That's the thing that's hooking me in. That as I was watching it, I'm like,
You're
this
ready to just-
this is easy
Yeah.
because Dennis Hopper's more mesmerizing.
which I don't agree with.
And then I'm going, so this is why am I watching? It doesn't make sense. Damn it all.
There you go.
Marie, you are a god among men.
Yeah, well, I try.
It's a thing, for sure.
It's a thing.
Did we need to talk about anybody else this week?
I don't know. I mean, I could, you could say Jackie Weaver's mesmerizing, but at the same time, man, we don't need this list any
I
bigger.
can't even name 2 movies she's in.
I can name
So, yeah.
Probably
Animal
30.
Kingdom, and I don't know. She's been in a ton of stuff.
She's pretty mesmerizing.
Don't put me on the spot.
Not much I've seen. And
She's pretty mesmerizing.
Oh, she's unbelievably mesmerizing.
I agree. She was very good.
But Marie hasn't seen enough of her.
No, probably won't. All right. Last time on Rage or Dare, Jim is lucky enough to pull the classic Babs film from Bryce's bag of musicals and rom-coms when he picked Hello, Dolly from 1969. That's before I was even born.
I do like 69.
This week, Jim and Bryce skipped my Lou, whatever the hell that means, and can choose to Rage or Dare. Check in with Jim and see if Walter Matthau plays his usual Oscar Madison role, or does Babs have the ability to give him any range other than rage with her constant singing and dancing? Oh, It's terrible.
I
already.
can't wait to hear your review of this one. I am really looking forward to this, Jim.
I thought you might. There's an updraft in her underpants. And that's no lie, and pretty much sums up this movie. Seeing Louis Armstrong singing Hello Dolly was well worth the price of admission.
I'll give you that.
Plus, directed by Twinkle Toes himself, Gene motherfucking Kelly,
Yes.
directed this movie.
He did.
Bosom lifted, daughter dated, or some marriage consummated. Torso pounded, liver tested.
Put on the songs now.
Apparently, 1969 had crazy people walking around offering all kinds of services. Let's just recap some of these services that Babs, in her role as Hello Dolly. So she could lift your bosom.
Yep.
She could somehow date your daughter.
Yes.
She could get some marriage consummated. I'm thinking, I don't know how. Torso pounding. Liver testing. The fact that this movie opens with a song that shows that she can do all these things.
What does it mean?
It does mean a lot of things. I kind of want a few of these things even now. This is the song she sings at the very start of the movie.
Yes.
So she's a plastic surgeon, alcoholic pimp. So far, I'm on board.
Yes.
But even these kind of great service offerings can't save the terrible stage-like acting along with the terrible forced dialogue and terrible singing. Did you know that musicians have to sing? And for no apparent reason whatsoever? In movies that are musicals?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Interesting fact, Walter Matthau is the Pierce Brosnan of singing for 1969. If you have heard Pierce Brosnan sing, and all of us have, now imagine him singing for 2 hours and 26 minutes. Now, I know you're thinking he couldn't actually have sang that long. Well, no, he didn't. But it sure as hell felt like he was singing for 2 hours and 29 minutes. I thought I was going to get the Barbra Streisand we know and love from Prince of Tides. No, no, no. We got the overacting, annoying, and nonstop talking and or singing for 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Sorry, Jim. How long was that movie?
It was 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Yes.
Barbara S. Who in their right mind makes a stage play musical with terrible blue screen backdrops and thinks that watching someone annoying for 2 hours and 26 minutes would be fun? Plus, important to note, just like today, the Academy makes great decisions because it gave this film 3 Oscars. One for Best Art/Set Design, where apparently at the time, blue screens weren't a thing, but they were in this movie. Best Sound, okay. Best Music or Score for a song that literally lasted, I think, 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Like when she, I'll get to that. Yeah, the Academy sure continues to get it right. Apparently, just like nowadays, musicals don't hire people, but Streisand for their singing. Because every single person in this film, except for her, was completely awful, except for Louis Armstrong.
Yes.
And this is probably a good time to say the plot of this story is about a woman marrying an old rich dude so she can get away from selling hats. Yep. Old man droopy balls slapping around is way better than having to sell hats for a living.
Yes.
Actually, as I say this now, the story was actually kind of awesome. Now that I'm actually rethinking of it. Plus, all the dancing. If there isn't singing, there's dancing. I mean, Gene Kelly directed this, right?
Yep.
It would be a musical, yes.
Yeah. At 45 minutes in, I know why Bryce picked this film. Nope. Not because it's a period piece, stage play, musical dance-a-thon. It's because it's fucking 2 hours and 26 motherfucking minutes. But some of that was made up of watching an entire parade. where they tortured this poor little pig, plus all who had to watch it. But you know, back in the 1960s, I think they used a slogan on all their films saying, all animals were harmed in the making of this picture.
Oh my.
All in all, I actually laughed a lot at what people thought was a movie back in 1969. So even though the singing and dancing and the Streisand was kind of bad, I still got Louis Armstrong and some of the funniest dialogue and songs I've ever seen in a movie.
Okay.
So it was Mondo.
It wasn't Mondo.
And in case you were wondering, she belongs apparently everywhere. Take from that what you will. You know, Dolly. Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
She's everywhere.
Yes.
It was so much fun.
I know.
We watched it as a family.
You're welcome.
And did I mention it was 2 hours and 26 minutes?
You did.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a little torn here because this movie was really painful to watch. But at the same time, let me just go back to tell you what her profession was.
Yes.
She was a plastic surgeon, alcoholic pimp.
Sold hats?
No, it wasn't her. So the premise of the story is Walter Matthau.
Yep.
He's a rich dude who's also a dick, like every character he
He was
does.
an old dude, 1969.
Yep.
He's always been.
An old dude. And she, Dolly Parton. Hello, Dolly Parton's Barbara Streisand is basically someone who gets stuff done, like all those things I listed, plus way more.
She's a fixer.
She's kind of like an intervener, or like I don't know, like an influencer. Maybe that was what she would be in today's date. And so she tries to hook him up, but ultimately her ultimate goal is that she wants to marry him.
Yes.
Because she's in love with him because he's so annoying, which made no sense. So, but the girl he was supposed to be hooked up with, she kiboshes that and sets the hat girl up with two other people. And so
everybody wins.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's no lie, including me. It was funny. It was awful. It was a rage.
But how long was it?
It was 2 hours and 26 minutes. I think that's the only reason you picked it. He looked up, okay, what's the longest musical that's ever been? There literally
it's
was
not even close.
There was
there's longer
there
ones,
was there was a parade. They actually showed a parade in this movie. I'm just like, what? Have you seen this movie, Murray?
No.
Okay. Well, and Barbara Streisand is so annoying in this. Like, but she does it really well.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah, it's bad.
You're welcome. It's all good.
So we're going to skip our Rage or Dare for next week, as well as the list for next week, because we're heading into cuff season.
Oh, okay.
Right? But
Yes.
we will still pick.
You're going to still pick one?
Yeah, man.
From where?
Where are we supposed to pick it from?
Rage or Dare?
Do we get to Rage or Dare? That's what the story
Your
says?
intro
Oh, is that?
says-
All right. Well, do we want to pick from Murray's Ice Creamy Bag, or do we want to pick from the Dare Bag? I'll let you decide this time.
What did we choose last time?
I don't know. Just they always end up being the same. Terrible. Except for me.
Well, let's go Dare Bag.
All right. Saving your hot, juicy goodness for another day, man.
Nice creamy goodness.
When we come back, we'll be seeing Ballistics X versus Seaver from 2002.
Yeah, that's Lucy Liu.
Lucy
isn't it?
Liu, Antonio Banderas,
Yeah.
I believe.
That's right.
Which I believe was named one of the worst movies of all time by a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like Lucy Liu.
it was pure action. I didn't mind it, but yeah, the story was stupid.
I think I remember this.
I do too.
I remember it being terrible. I saw this in the theaters.
I saw it in the theater.
I saw it and I don't remember it.
So that's usually a good sign. It might be just
Couldn't
a
have been
meh.
that bad if I don't remember it.
It might just be a meh.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope so.
Yeah, maybe.
I hope it's a Mondo.
I hope so too.
If I watched it, it might be.
Well, you know what? This was a very rage-filled,
Yes.
delicious,
A lot of
tasty treat of a movie. And I'm not talking about cow. But what I am saying is thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the Extended Film Rage family. And you know who they are, and you can find them in our show notes. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a rage blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, or send us an email to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, just please make us rage. Please, pretty, pretty, pretty please. That's it for this week. Rage on!
Rage on.